Hello and welcome back to this channel. Today's going to be a very fun video piece. Today we're going to be doing 3 different things. First thing is we're going to be planting the strawberry seeds I just got. I'm going to be growing them a brand new way to see if they grow even better, because if you guys have been with the channel for a long time, I really want to start my own produce business, and I really want strawberries to be one of my main products. So I really need to learn a lot more very quickly. Then we're also going to be doing an informational plant tour just in the greenhouse, because right now it is completely dark outside and I can't really, give you guys a tour outside when it's completely dark. Then to end today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys a lot about Goforth produce and the plan with that, and I've made so many changes, I've done so much research, and I have a lot of news to tell you guys that I've not talked about on the channel whatsoever right now. So before we do go ahead and start today's video, please subscribe, hit the notification on all so you not miss every video, and please like this video. Let's go ahead and start today's video. So the strawberries will be very easy because I'm going to try it a brand new way. I've done a lot of research, and I've actually considered doing this the first time, but I didn't for some reason. All I'm going to do, I have this pretty good sized tray. You can kind of see the comparison of the size of the tray from my hand. All I'm going to do, grab a scoop of soil right there. This is a good mix, a mix of 3 things, a little bit of compost, a ton of perlite, and coconut coir. I'm going to do a great layer of this. I probably did a little bit too much, but that is about good. I want to flatten that as much as I possibly can. And then I'm going to add a little bit more, to be honest. But now all I have to do is open up the strawberry packet, dump it on top, kind of just move the soil around. I'm going to do a very light layer of soil on top, and then I have to water it. And then I'm going to put it in the germination room for about 2 to 3 days, and then it'll go under the grow lights, and by then it will not be germinating yet, but it'll go under a heated mat in here too, and then hopefully those will grow very well. It'll take about 2 weeks before I do start to notice growth, but once it does start growing, I'm going to go ahead and put each one in one of these pots, or something even smaller, or probably I could go with something like this size of a one. And then I'm going to let those grow significantly. And then eventually I'll move them over to what you see right there. And then I'm going to be doing a lot of testing very soon before I do start Goforth produce, so I can really learn about just growing strawberries with this method and see if it will even work, and see if this is the best design for growing as many strawberries as I can grow. So let me go ahead and do that very quickly. I'm going to go ahead and open up the strawberries, dump them in, and I'll see you guys in a second once I'm getting ready to put more soil on top. Alright, so I'm not going to do soil on top, but I'm just going to kind of run my fingers through it. Maybe do a very light layer, kind of just mix them into the very top. And then all I'm going to do is put a lid on top, but first I do need to water it. Don't over water it, because once I do put that lid on, nothing will evaporate out the pot. And if you do too much water or too little, you won't get much germination, and too much, your entire germination experiment will end up molding away, rotting away. The seeds will not grow. It'll be a horrible nightmare. Do a perfect amount. Do something good. Don't do too much. Don't do too little. Do the perfect amount. So I'll see you guys once it's in the germination. Alright, so I did get the tray done. You can kind of see it from there. Now, every so often, I will take the lid off a little bit to let it get new air, because eventually it will start to mold in there, and just that's the last thing I need. I will say it's not the most ideal to really have it in a dark germination room. The best and most successful germination process you'll get is if it's on a heated mat and under grow lights, but sadly I don't really have that area. I mean, I guess theoretically I could just go ahead and put it right here, which I actually might now that I think about it, but let's go in here very quickly. And then this is the germination room. I was thinking I would just place it right here, and then once I do end up turning off the light, the door is open currently, but once I do turn off the light and then I close the door, it is extremely dark in here and you can't see anything. That wasn't even how dark it does get, because the door was still slightly open, but it does get very dark in here. So I might do that actually, because I don't think I'm going to get much germination from that. I think I'm just going to fully finish today's video and then I'll do the research really quickly to see if that would be the best thing. And then where do we start? You know what? Let's just start with the fish tank and ecosystem. Now, the lights are off, so I can't really show you much, but all of it is doing good. I'm starting to really examine the fish too. Now, I don't know for sure about this, but what I've heard is kind of when a female guppy's stomach is, well, when a female guppy is pregnant, they're kind of, the back of their stomach kind of gets just a darker spot, just letting you know that they're pregnant, and so they do have that, and their stomach is a little bit bigger than it was a few days ago, so we might have some baby guppies very, very soon, and that was what I was hoping. So if you guys do have some information to share about that I should know, please comment that down. I strongly, really love if you would. Everything's been fed today. I have realized that the fish tank is starting to get a lot of algae in it. So if you look on the sides, there's a lot of algae. So I guess tomorrow is going to be a scraping day, which is amazing. Yay. Always love cleaning the fish tank day, but I'll kind of talk a little bit about that in a second when I do start talking about Goforth produce. So plant-wise, stuff it's doing okay. I have basil, cilantro, parsley, oak leaf lettuce, grand lettuce down there. Same with butter crunch, tango lettuce right there, red ruby, salad bowl mix, and the gourmet mixture. Basil, it's doing okay. What I've realized is lately when the roots are a little bit damaged, they just don't do that great. So that might be a little bit on my side and an oops on my side, but cilantro is doing all right. The roots aren't doing the best, but it's whatever happens. I will say the parsley is beginning its process of absolutely thriving. Very, very excited for all of this to grow, and you can even see all the roots starting to hang out in there. So I'm very, very, very excited about that. Turning around, I am trying to go a little bit quicker so I can put a lot of time into talking about Goforth produce. But if you look right here, I have a lot of stuff. I have spring tomatoes. Those are doing very, very good. If you're wondering what spring tomatoes are, those are your bigger size tomatoes, not cherry tomatoes. They're like 4 times the size. They're your classic, like either salad or cheeseburger type of tomato. Then I'm growing a ton of cherry tomatoes. I think I'm going to grow these for about 4 more days before they do end up going outside. So we'll just have to kind of wait for that. I'm also growing marigolds, California poppy seeds, cosmos, golden daisies. I'm also growing marigolds down there too. Zinnias, 2 different types. Going over here, I'm growing a ton of different flowers. Also, I'm growing snapdragon, kypress, 4 o'clock, impatiens, aster, and then cosmos. All of these are doing all right. The snapdragon is doing insane. The 4 o'clock is doing all right. Impatiens are slowly starting to come up. Cosmos is slowly starting to make progress. And then I don't even know what's happening with aster, but I'm also growing lemongrass that went in today. Going down, I'm really, really hoping to kind of work with, you know what, I'm going to say that later in today's video, but that's a strawberry plant. Very, very excited to learn a lot more about how that grows and that type of a setup. Then I have bunching onions. Those are doing very, very well. Then I have all the rosemary and the celery. Going down here, these were just added also today. Bunching onions, spinach, more basil, and then I have broccoli. Going down here, I'm also growing lavender, rosemary, and even more strawberries. I'm also growing even more strawberries right there, and I'll probably end up getting rid of that at that point. Then I'm growing a lot of bare root strawberries, and those are basically dead. And then I'm also growing 3 different types of peppers. Don't mind those plants right there because those really weren't really supposed to grow, because when I was transplanting everything, that's what everything started growing in, from seed to, I guess, seedling. They all were transplanted in this area, and I guess I missed a few, so that's kind of where it's at. I'm growing yellow peppers, red peppers, and green bell peppers. Very, very excited about that. And I think I talked about everything I wanted to talk about on this side. I'm also growing a lot of stuff over here. I've talked a little bit about some stuff over here, but first thing I'm growing is mustard. That's getting ready to bloom. Then I'm growing dill. This is the rosemary plant that was growing outside last year, and that's doing all right. I do think it'll take a little bit of some time before it does start to thrive, but so far it's doing pretty good. And yeah, Then I'm growing blueberry plants. These do need acidic soil, and I'm kind of still working on the perfect environments for those. So those will hopefully go out in maybe 2 to 3 days. So just cross our fingers there and really, really hope it does. Then to end this part of today's video with these giant plants. This is the sugar piece, and then I have cherry tomatoes right there growing hydroponically. Very, very excited about all of this, but I really do want to talk about Goforth Farms and everything from research to different location on building the setup. So let me go ahead and start talking about that really quick. So I was actually talking to my dad the other day ago, and we both just really talked about it. And now it is still very, very soon. I do want to build this setup in over a year. So, well, I guess about this time next year in a way. Well, I guess a month from now in a year, if that makes sense there. But I think I decided I'm still going to have to move tropical because at the end of the day, if I still work with produce in this area, I don't think the health inspector would be very happy if he happened to work with all the produce in here and then walk in this room and I'm working with slime from borax to a lot of other chemicals to make the perfect slime. So I think I'm going to either have to move the slime shop, or the last few days for tropical will be coming up in the next few years. I think I might go with that second choice because at the end of the day, I was really hoping tropical could be a way of where I could learn about how all of this works, how to successfully run a business. I've really learned a lot about this, and the good thing about tropical, if I would happen to either move it or just kind of change it up in a way, I don't really want to say I want to get rid of it because that just sounds horrible, but I'm just going to say if I would happen to get rid of it, I could reuse a lot of stuff I'm working with in here. So the shelves could be used for Lego investing, which I think that's already the plan. A lot of the containers I'll probably just use for other things. I'd probably just have to sell a lot of the charms behind me on the charm wall. A lot of other ingredients I haven't used, I might just give the family and friends for a little bit. And just trying to make some extra money at the very end. I'd also probably put the shop pretty strong on clearance and try to get rid of some of the, just use up some of the last ingredients that I can't really sell off, like the activator and all sorts of stuff. Now, obviously, there is some equipment that I can't reuse, like the mixers. I can't. I might try to see if anyone would be, if any people would be interested in purchasing them, because I don't really want to just throw them into the dumpster and say goodbye. I am going to be reusing the tables. I don't think I'd be reusing the shelf. I think I'd just use that for Lego investing also. But this table is perfect for just kind of just planting everything. Then I'd have a table dedicated for harvesting, and then I'd have a table dedicated for who knows what. So I think that could be very, very good at the end of the day. These have gone through a lot of slime, and a lot of slime has been made on these. So I would have to do a lot. I'd have to put lots and lots of chemicals on it to clean it as good as possible. Then I'd have to clean up all those chemicals off of the table, and at that point, might as well just kind of get a company to try to clean it for me because they know what they're doing more than I do. So I think I might just do that in the end. But at the end of the day, this business, I want safety and health to come first every single time. So I'm going to be having a lot of plans in place to make sure the experience for the customers is as good as possible and they don't have any health concerns when it comes down to our products. So I'm thinking of all of the plants I would sell, 60% of the sales is going to come from strawberries. I was doing the math. I'm going to get shelves way bigger than this. Notice I have 3 shelves on each one. These upgraded shelves I'm going to purchase, hopefully, are going to have about 5. And instead of it being about this tall, it'll be all the way up to about here. Very, very tall, but I do think that could be, well, it'd be up to here probably. Very, very tall, but really helps a lot. Now, if you also look in the room, you're probably thinking, there's no way I could make a lot of money, or there's no way I could really produce as much as really what's there for the demand. So I'm trying to work on a lot of different setups now because the original design was the entire shelving except the aquaponic system and a lot of other some stuff was going to go in there. I was going to buy like 12 shelves and all of them were going to go in that room, but in the end my dad and I both really discussed it. We both just kind of settled on, we don't really think this room would be suitable for really what I'm looking for, because at the end of the day, I have to water the plants because the plants are going to dry up and die out if I don't water them. That meaning there's going to be some incidents at least once or twice throughout all the years I'm hoping to do this, to the point where some spills happen or pots being overflowed or just some dumb mistakes I happen to make over time where the hose happens to just get nutrient-filled water all over the ground. At the end of the day, water and tiled floor does not match up because it kind of just changes the color of that tile. If you guys have either built a house or either work in the tile industry, I guess, tile is not cheap, and I'd really much rather just kind of leave the tile how it is. I'd have to figure out what else that would go in here. This would probably be a great storage room, or this could be kind of the harvesting and washing station. But theoretically, if I had the washing station in here, it just wouldn't make sense on not doing actual setup, because the washing station uses a lot more water than really what the plants need. So I'm thinking this room is actually much bigger than the room I was actually just talking about, which could be a pretty big advantage for me. Meaning I will have to do massive changes to this room, meaning I wouldn't really be able to do these videos for a few months. So I'm thinking I'm going to start construction next summer. So that's what I was saying about this time next year. While I'm outside doing a ton of gardening, I can be doing construction in here, cleaning out the room. At the end of the day, I will have to take off all the grow lights. I don't really know if I want to keep these shelves because they're not the best shelving I could have. So I will have to move the boxes. I'm thinking I will have to move the Bowflex. I guess the Bowflex would probably be good to go back in this room, and that's where it used to be until I built Tropical. And then I could move around a lot of stuff in here, have a completely empty room, and then this room could be fully dedicated to producing a ton of stuff. And to be honest, I'd much rather get this floor soaked than the other floor, because I can easily just kind of cut the floor and then that's fine. I can't really grab a shovel and take off some tile pieces. That is just dumb and extremely costly to do that. So I have no clue how the setup is going to look like. I really need to get on my computer after I'm done filming this video, draw kind of like some designs. So I'm thinking I'm going to have a lot of shelving right here. I'm going to I'll probably double the triple grow the system in a way. I'm thinking I will have one along the wall, and I'll probably have 3 on this side. I probably have 4 probably about right here. I'd have another one of probably 4 going this way, and then I'd have maybe, depending on the sizes of these shelves, because they are a lot bigger, I could do another one possibly. I doubt it, but it is a possible thing, yeah. So then at the very end, not fully against the windows, but very, very close, I'm hoping to have a huge aquaponics system with 4 of these giant racks. Obviously, I'd have to get a way bigger fish tank, and I'm looking at possibly, instead of like a 40-gallon tank, I get about a 75-gallon tank, which those tanks are very, very big. I'd also have to completely change it up to the point where it's easier to clean, where the fish are a lot more happy, and it just really, really is a lot better at the end of the day. So I'm thinking I do that. This fish tank is also going to be brutally expensive because it's going to be all glass. Meaning if I would happen to drop something or kick it, I could possibly risk on shattering one of the walls, but whatever happens at the end of the day. And yeah, so I'm going to do a lot of work with that. I'm thinking some of my main products is going to be selling like all sorts of stuff. At the end of the day, I really want my biggest products to be strawberries, because really that's one of my favorite products I've ever grown. I'm also really hoping to grow like basil, cilantro, a lot of different herbs like 20 different types of lettuce. Sounds like a lot, but I really want to get a setup that's capable of producing that much. These shelves are also going to be a lot closer, so I'm going to get, I'll probably really get the germination room in the bathroom a lot bigger and a lot better in a way. Then I'm thinking I probably have a shelving unit dedicated to early plants, early seedlings, meaning there'd probably be about this much between, like, for an example, like, let me pick this up really quick. Like, this isn't gonna be the best, but like, for an example, like, it would go on the shelf and it would sit like this close to the grow lights, or like this close to the grow lights. At that point, the grow light would probably cook it a little bit, but the closer, the better. Something like this would be ideal. But I really want something like that where, like, in the beginning, when I'm getting ready to put new plants in the aquaponics system or other stuff, that shelving would do it all, and it'd just be the early stage for all the plants. So a lot of planning I'm going to be doing into this. Very, very excited about that. I honestly don't have much information besides that, and to be honest, I'm just really talking a lot now. So I'm also hoping to. I'm still working out where I'm going to sell stuff. I'm still working out the website design, and well, I haven't fully created the website besides just watching other people create a Shopify store. I really need to set it up, learn a lot about it, and see if it would be capable. Still working on packaging, like grow light technology. I'm thinking, for the most part, I'll be using everything. I would probably have to add a few more fans in this room. I'm going to have to do a shelving unit dedicated for microgreens, meaning I would have to get fans already hooked up to the shelves that would just kind of hang right there and then just blow air onto the microgreens, preventing them to mold, because I've had a lot of microgreen molding problems in the past. So a lot of things. I really want this business to do better than like, out of everything I've learned, I don't want to make the same mistakes, so I'm going to be putting everything I've learned that was worst case scenario into this design to make sure it all works the first time. I'm also hoping to build it not this upcoming summer, but next summer while I'm filming everything outside. Then I'm hoping to run the setup in here for a few months, take pictures, get artwork on the walls where it looks really cool in here. Then I'm really hoping I can slowly start to learn how to run all of this. The strawberry plants can get a lot bigger to the point where they can start producing those strawberries. And at the end of the day, whatever happens, and I'll slowly learn a lot more. That's also why the main point where I'm doing today's video is I'm basically saying I'm gonna move once I plant everything outside. The setup and operation on growing stuff in here is gonna get a little bit different. Well, actually quite differently, because I'm gonna sound a lot more professional when it does come to growing stuff in here, because at the end of the day, I really want everything that I'm growing in here to be the designs and how I'm gonna be growing those plants for Goforth produce, like the strawberries. So I'm really working on strawberries, and I'm thinking about having 1, 2, 3 plants right there. Or should I do 2? I really want to hear your guys' opinions on that. If I should just stick with 2, or if I should do 3, and then just really have a lot of strawberries being produced. So I really want to hear from you guys on a lot of the stuff I said today, and if you guys think I should make some changes. And yeah, thank you all so incredibly much for watching today's video, and this will be the very end of today's video. If you guys like these types of videos, please subscribe, hit the bell notification on all so you not miss our video, and please like this video. If you guys made it all the way to this point in the video, please comment down produce and the word produce, and I will know you guys made it to the very end of the video. And I really want to thank you all so incredibly much for watching today's video all the way through and supporting the channel. I'll see you guys tomorrow when we post next. Peace.